is not contributing to the conflict in Iraq. He also says his country shies away from any kind of bloodshed, saying it is the Americans who are controlling the conflict in Iraq.
No, but we are opposed to any kind of conflict and also the presence of foreign forces in Iraq, and that's why we are opposed to the presence of Americans. We tell them, leave the country, and any other foreigner should leave the country, and there should be no foreigner in Iraq, and then you see that you have peace.
Ahmadinejad also flatly denied U.S. claims that Iran is supplying insurgents in Iraq
I said
with
I would
weapons.
tell you the president's parting words to me this morning. On his way out the door, he turned around and said those were combative questions. Women should not be asking tough questions about war. Women should be asking questions about love and about family and about culture. Well, in this country, Iran, which, by the way, is a Persian country, it is not an Arab country, the role of women is highly complex, as you're about to see. America's friend and ally, Saudi Arabia, women can't vote there. Women can't drive. But it's different here in the place that's considered America's adversary, Iran. The women of Iran, at the age of 15, they get to vote. They drive. They hold office. 4% of the seats in parliament are female, and more than half the university students are women. And women make up more than 30% of Iran's workforce.
There is no hindrances, as far as I am concerned, for any woman to do anything she wants as long as she's capable of doing it.
Yet Westerners are fixed on the law that requires that every woman, including foreigners, must wear a hijab in public, that full covering of the head. We notice even skiing at a popular resort, the women have to navigate the impossible. And in the streets, women also cover up to the knees, though we notice the hemlines are varying, even creeping higher in the city. That's okay too? Really? Really? So you could have it up here, but not here? And every single woman we ask said it's a tradition they really don't mind. Do you like wearing it?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
The young woman tells me it makes her feel safe, confident, modest. And of course it stretches back through Muslim centuries, and Judeo-Christian ones too. The Bible says women should cover their heads. Can you distinguish between Catholic nuns and Muslim wives and mothers? Yet if you've read Azar Nafisi reading Lolita in Tehran, you know that beneath those veils, painted fingernails, dyed hair, Western-style clothes, and dreams of romance. In the store windows, the latest fashions, racy lingerie.
People in the West think that we are imprisoned, we are not allowed to leave the house, we have to cover ourselves and only our eyes should be out, we are not to go anywhere. You know, wrong pictures.
But make no mistake, strong as they are, Iranian women have a battle to wage. Out in the countryside, human rights groups say women can still be publicly stoned to death.
A woman is half of a man in witnessing. A woman cannot have the guardianship of her children. A woman does not have the right to divorce equal to men. A woman cannot leave the country without permission of her husband. All of these and many, many other.
29-year-old Parisa belongs to an underground activist group here in Tehran. She is going door to door in cafes collecting 1 million signatures for women's rights. Their website is shut down by the government nearly every day.
They are so very modern and so very connected to the rest of the world and so anxious for rights and so conscious of the importance of achieving those rights. And the two are just worlds apart, what they have and what they wish for.
But one thing is certain, you cannot judge a woman here by her cover. In the bazaar, I see a woman shopping in full chador. It turns out she speaks English. In fact, she traveled to New Jersey.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Would you like to live there?
Right now, no. I like Iran because it's my country.
She tells me she prefers Iran to New Jersey because the television is much more wholesome for children. Yes. We look at the beautiful fabrics, and before I go, she saves me from buying a fabric I think is a headscarf, but in fact it's for the table.
Oh. For table, round table.
Oh, for the table.
Yes, for round.
So here we are in this complicated city of 12 to 15 million workers, where women run businesses, even banks. And as always, the truth of a culture does not travel a straight line. The truth as the West sees it, the truth Iranian women say they know.
Please, by all means, come to Iran and stay here for a while and learn for yourself how it is.
And so those are the women of Iran. As we said, it's a complex situation. By the way, as far as I know, this is the only country in the region in which foreign women, Western women, also have to wear the headdress, which is called the hijab. And I did ask the president why that is. I was having trouble with it, and he said, come back more often, you won't have so much trouble. But I said, why is that? And he had a one-sentence, very short answer. It is the law. That's what he said to me.
Also, again, when you met him, he did not shake your hand. I mean, you're a woman, and he is very much on top of that, and didn't want to shake your hand.
Well, that's in the strict Muslim culture. Yeah. That would not happen anywhere. In fact, I never offer my hand here because I'm not sure whom I'm offering it to. And it is, they would say it's a sign of respect for women.
Right, and just seeing the woman's piece, it just seemed like go hand in hand with that, so to speak.
The taste
all right, Diane.
of Iran, Diane? I think I've got a treat for you, Robin, Sam, and Chris, coming up in this half hour. As we travel, we always try to make distinctions between the American government and the governments of these countries and the people of each. And in this country, you'll find the Iranian people are so filled with generosity and vitality. So we thought we'd show you a little bit of the ancient Persian culture, including a dish we were served yesterday we could not stop eating. Persia, even the name of the ancient civilization, lights up a dream. As the Persian poet Omar Khayyam wrote, I sent my soul back through the invisible, back to the empire that created paved roads, the world's first postal service, more than 500 years before Christ was born. And in the thousands of years that followed, Persians were brilliant capitalists at the crossroads of commerce. Marco Polo traded here. And this land was also renowned for the beauty of its art and architecture and delicate food. In the shops of the bazaars, color, bursting, fruit in overwhelming and inexpensive abundance. But an infinity of oranges and lemon. And inside the alleyways, another delicacy, lamb head. You can be sure, a delicacy which I will not be sampling. But the day that started with a long walk through a sea of protesters and then another long walk through the commercial streets of Tehran brought us here to Ali Gapur, where we sank into soft cushions and looked at ancient Persia recreated on the walls, the lions that once represented an empire, paintings of an epic poem in which a prince unknowingly kills his own son in battle. But Ali Gapur is really about the food.
This is wonderful. The eggplant is fantastic.
Platters of crunchy fish and kebabs. And the rice. The rice on the left, dressed with almonds, pistachios, and candied orange rind. And on the right, with red currants. But you probably don't know about abgusht. In this little stone jar, lamb and vegetables and 6 different spices stew in tomatoes, 2 kinds of beans, dried limes, and potatoes for up to 8 hours. You wind up with a bowl of rich stew, which they drain, and then crush the meat into a kind of barbecue.
It's satisfying. It's like the very best.
But the real magic, into the juice, soft, warm bread, crushed and folded.
All right.
A taste as old and wonderful as that poet himself.
That's great.
It was Omar Khayyam who wrote, savor, be happy for this moment. This moment is your life.
Eat up, everyone.
And his willingness to talk.
If an American has got the right to live, the same right also applies to Africans and Iranians. If Iranians have the right to live, the same is true about Americans. If we want to have good lives, the same applies to others. So all good things should be generalized to all the people, and also bad things should be, people should be excluded from bad things. So good things for everyone, bad things for no one. This is our rhetoric.
You have hope.
Yes, I'm very hopeful.